one-on-one
He was
play?
terrific. He was absolutely terrific, and it started yesterday in practice. I think without question, yesterday's the best practice he's had since he's been here. What he brought, his energy, and the fact that he carried it over, was really happy for him because I know how much he cares. I know how much he wants to do the right thing, and to see him come out and play the way he did today, it's really special. Really happy for him.
Kind of same question about Zakai. We've been talking about his evolution for the past month. Was this maybe the pinnacle so far?
What can you say about him? I mean, he's got to be right there, the very best point guards in the country. When you think about what he does night in and night out, consistently doing it, learning the position as he goes through with it. Defensively, he does it. How many minutes he played tonight? 37, and I always ask him, how you feel? He said, I'm fine, Coach. But the fact is, the way he distributed the ball, and he got a little excited when we had a chance to give them credit. We could have really stretched it out, but they, older, experienced team, stayed in it. I thought they really maintained their poise, but then Z got a little excited and turned it over. I think they scored 6 straight points off turnovers where we were trying to force too much. But what he's learning how to do is make his teammates better, which is the sign of a point guard, the guy becoming a point guard, understanding that's his job, to find a way to make his teammates better on the offensive end. And as he continues to do that, he's going to make everybody better. And by doing that, we get better.
Ryan, Mike, and Gentry. You mentioned Olivier's energy in practice yesterday. Just the intensity and energy that he had today, how do you bottle that up and get it in a more consistent basis?
That is a great question. You know, if I could figure that out, and maybe, you know, last year it hit him all at once where, you know, he was playing great basketball before he got hurt. Maybe this is what it's going to be to get him going. But I thought he really searched out his spots on the floor. I thought he understood tonight so much where he wanted to get the ball and what he wanted to do. Never looked rushed, never looked like he was not sure what he wanted to do. And I just hope it gives him the kind of confidence that he can keep building on it with. Because he works, and you guys know him, he loves the game, and he works at it, and he deserved this night.
Is that the most consistent and steady effort you've seen across 40 minutes from this team this year? I know there's been a lot of games that looked like that, but was this the start to finish best?
You know, they got a lot in the second half, and you got, again, Rodney does a terrific job. I mean, he's handled a very difficult situation, and I thought he's a very poised individual, and I think their team played with a lot of poise, and whether the fact that we didn't play as many people tonight, we were giving up back cuts, easy baskets, but that's what they do. They run a really good flow motion game where, because you're really trying to work hard, they're a really good two-point shooting team, and you're trying to run them off cuts, and you get too aggressive doing that. They do a great job of back cutting. They did that tonight to us too many times. End of the game, we can't do what we did at the end of the game, not being ready on an out-of-bounds play and giving up 2 3-point plays back-to-back. I mean, those type things. But we beat a really good basketball team tonight.
Rick, you've had, right here,
Well,
you've had obviously a lot of good teams, but never one that defensively has had the numbers this team does. What do you think's made this group special? And then is it also comforting to have a game that you can get it done offensively when Texas does play pretty well in the second half offensively?
Well, I think the key is we've got individuals that want to be good defensive players, and we've got individuals that can not only guard the basketball consistently well, but they also can help their teammates. And the last couple of weeks, we've really tried to harp on when we switch, because we love to switch. We'd like to be able to go 1 through 5 if we can with our post guys, being able to stay in front of the ball. But the biggest thing that we've tried to get them to understand is personnel. When we do switch, do you understand how we need to play this particular player at this particular time? And tonight, really, some of the breakdowns, and I might be wrong when I watched the tape, but what I saw tonight, I thought our guards didn't do a very good job in switching situations where some of the threes they gave up, some of the good looks they got early in the game. Transition defense wasn't great. They had some looks that could very well have gone down. But to really answer your question, we've got a group of guys that I think that believe in defense, and they want to be good at it. And that's a big part of it, guys that want to be good at it and know that it really is something that we have to be good at to be the team that we want to be. And there's a lot of things that go into it, but that's where I think, too, our guys know that we've got to get better with some things.
Rick, Rodney said this team has the ingredients to go to the Final Four. I assume he knows what you're looking for as well as anyone. What do you think that's true? Do you think this team has what it needs?
And I would say that about his team. The fact that this year, at this point in time in the season, I'm not sure any team has just totally separated themselves. You know, there's a lot of basketball left. I mean, here's what I would say. I heard Jay Billis say it today, that this time a year ago today, North Carolina had the exact same record they have right now and got it turned around and got it going. Kansas a year ago today got beat by 30 points, just like Alabama did today. So it's a long way to go. Every game, again, I think all the games are big. I do. I always tell our team in November, if you don't think this game is big, wait till March, those November games. And so right now, I mean, I love this team. I think we got a chance to be as good as we want to be. And I think that it's up to one thing. Are we tough enough to embrace the daily grind and not worry about going to the Final Four, not worry about the NCAA tournament, but can we build a team that can be successful that time of year? And it starts with truly embracing the grind every single day, and it's tough because we've been at it a long time. And can you knock out all the noise around you? Can you not, let whatever's out there, the noise, talk about it and just be able to come to work? And I told him today, we've got to have a man's mentality in the fact that when we come in here and we get ready for games, it's not about being all emotional and jacked up. It's about taking care of business and knowing that it's hard to win games against a team like the University of Texas. And now I think we go to Florida next week. It's hard. And it's only going to get harder because February teams get better. And that's why we've got to get better or we'll go backwards.
Rick, you talked a minute ago about how hard Olivier works and how much this means to him. When you feel that from a player, how much easier is it to kind of help them along the process? Because I know Olivier's development's kind of taken some time. Is it kind of easier to hang with guys when you know how much they care like that?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I love Ove. I mean, I love him to death. And if I could put it on him every night, I'd love to, because he really wants to be good. And he takes it. I mean, he and I have had we had a couple of weeks ago, we had a long, long talk. And it was a talk where he got emotional with me and just said, I don't know why, but I want to do it, and I want to do it. And the fact is, I do know he wants to do it. And the fact is, he's a guy, practice, he's coming back every night. He's going to be up there in Pratt or if this is open, he'll be here. And like you just keep working, but I've also told him he's got to embrace the mental side of it more than anything, understand truly what he's good at. And he is good. There's a lot of things that he really does well. I was just so proud of him getting in a stance, really trying to fix some things, because the other night against Georgia's very first play of the game, he blew the ball screen coverage, very first play of the game. And I told him, I said, I know you don't want to do it. Why'd you do it? And he just said, my mind's not in the right place. I said, well, when you get it there. And he came out and practiced yesterday, and he was all over the place. And that's part of the growth process. Sometimes the light comes on sooner or later for some people, but I promise you, if you ask anybody on the team that they want to see do well, they would tell you they want, because he cares, and he cares a great deal. So it's obviously happy. We're all happy for him.
About that practice yesterday, just the energy he brought, but what else specifically did he do that you kind of allowed you to foresee tonight?
Playing with it. I mean, he had a dunk yesterday in practice, and the whole place came to life. I mean, he went in there yesterday, and it looked like he dunked it with his armpit. And I'm like, and I walked over and said, why are you holding back? Why don't you do that all the time? I mean, at least try to do it. But sometimes players can put a block up, but the fact is, we try, his teammates trust him, and he actually was going to take himself out one time night, which I was proud of, but timeout came, and I said to him, which I don't know if I've ever said it to him, how you feel? You want to stay in the game? And he said, this is all I need. I said, okay, stay in the game, because normally he's tired. I would say, let's do it. But I know the guys are really happy for him.
Rick, I know you've been on both sides of this Big 12 SEC challenge. Are you sorry this thing's coming to an end?
Well, this is going to be a conference game with Texas. We play, so it's going to end up doing that. You know what? I think that when it started, I think it was a good thing for both leagues. I also think that it took ESPN a couple years to get it in this spot. They wanted it from the very beginning. This is when they wanted to play sort of kind of in between the playoffs and football and that. And I think it's been good for both leagues. I do. In some, I don't know where it is right now today, but next year we start. Is it next year we start the ACC? And then think about it, a year, not next year, but the next year, Oklahoma and Texas will come into the league, and so it'll be a conference game from here on out. But I think the challenge. The only thing I didn't like about the challenge, and I said it from the time that when I went to the Big 12, we were talking about doing these challenges, and I was in the Big East back when the ACC Big East started, and always somebody from the Big East got left out, and I've never thought it was fair, And then they said there was a rotation system. Well, I never saw it. I just know it seemed like Providence, Boston College, and somebody else, And I get it. I know enough about it to know it's TV pushed. The thing starting with the ACC, I think next year we'll have all of our teams, or when it starts, I think we'll have all of our teams in. Then when we come in, they'll be without one team. It's a real challenge because think about it, Texas A&M top spot, they're not even in it, and they, so this, I don't know if we can call it a real challenge because, you wish that you could schedule the games the week before and really get the teams matchups that you wanted, but I just think you got to have all the teams to play to call it a real challenge.
Coach, obviously Olivier had a great practice, but what specifically out of the matchup against the Sioux that you saw that you kept exploiting that matchup?
Well, we just felt like, ball screen, was Zakai getting there, and they certainly are a very physical team, and they pay a lot of attention to shooters, and so I don't think they were willing to leave Santi or Josiah, those guys on the perimeter. And when we normally, we do a couple different things in the ball screen, and with him there, we were trying to just open the court up to give Z a lot of room to operate and try to get somebody behind him, and it was good, but, they also turned us over twice at a critical time and went down and scored off of it. But it goes back to where I think Zakai's just getting better and better in ball screens and starting to see the whole court.
Obviously, everyone knows about Tennessee's defense and how great it is, but what would you say is underrated about your team's offense?
I don't know if it's underrated. The question I asked our guys last night, I stopped the film last night when we were in a defensive possession in practice, and I saw 4 guys pointing, talking, and helping each other. And I said, why don't we do that on offense? I said, you guys obviously understand what you're supposed to do on defense. Why can't we totally buy in and understand it's hard to play really good offense against a team like Texas that can really guard? I said, until we can execute at the level we need to, and that means guys that screen need to screen, guys that need to cut. We need to do a better job putting the ball where it needs to be. And I said, it's hard. I said, running offense, you're looking for timing out of it, but you're looking for fundamental basketball. And we are a very fundamental team defensively, and when we're not playing good offense, it's because we're not very good fundamentally. We dribble the ball too much, not locked into where we need to get the ball, what we need to be looking for, but when we're locked in on the offensive end, I do think we're a good offensive team. All right, thank you all.
Doing good.
Good practice this week. He said specifically yesterday there was kind of a moment where you guys talked about being intense and kind of not holding back on the court. Just what was that conversation like, and How do you feel like that helps you today?
Just a focus and an energy that I need to keep bringing and having every day, and it really does start at practice. You know, it's hard to practice every day and then play every day, but it's really one of the most important things to make sure that you do it. When you have good practices, you know, back-to-back practices, and then it translates. You know, you do what you do in practice, you bring it to the game. It's just how basketball works. Anything works. You know, how you prepare is usually how you perform.
Olivier, going back to that practice, Coach obviously talked a lot about it, but he said it was kind of a moment where you had that dunk that kind of brought everybody to life. Just kind of, what was that play like for you, and just did you feel the energy of the guys around you?
Yeah, it was a broken play. I was at the top of the key. They were pressing up on me a little too much because I don't really drive the ball a lot, but it's not like I can't drive the ball. So, you know, I took off, and, you know, if I can gather my steps, it's an unfortunate day for whoever tries to jump with me more often than not. But yeah, it was a nice play. You know, I was a little excited. Everybody was a little excited. You know, the way we guard people and the way we guard at practice and the way we go at practice, it's not often that somebody does something like that or gets dunked on like that. So yeah, it was fun, but you know, it was fun.
Coach Ballard said you guys had an emotional one-on-one conversation a couple weeks ago. What did you discuss in that conversation, and why was it emotional?
It was a lot of just stuff about my role and how I need to understand what the team needs from me, regardless of what I can do and what's going on, you know, around me, because I'm a senior. You know, a lot of stuff starts going around when you're a senior, and you got to still be able to focus on the year. This is really our biggest year, my biggest year, and that's where my focus is and needs to be. But just you know, talking about, and it's not even just basketball, talking about life, talking about, you know, how you got to take care of business, how you got to know where your head is at, what's really important to you at that time. You know, school is important, basketball is important. It's important to, you know, make the best out of the last days, regardless of what happens next year. It's important to take care of these days that I have here. You know, I've spent 3 years working to get to where we are now. You know, and last year what went down, you know, I've worked toward being here, being with my team, regardless if I'm having good games or bad games. I work towards being here in this moment with my team at the end of the year, you know, tirelessly. And we were just talking about stuff that he wants me to get better at and stuff that he knows I can do and he needs me to do for us to keep getting better.
Mike, Rob, and Reese. Olivier, what are the things that define this team that fans should most be excited about and kind of love and cheer for game to game?
You know, we're a big family. We love it here. We love playing here. And I think the fans, we look forward to the fans. So I hope they look forward to us as much as we do them. You know, when we know that the fans are going to be there, we know it's going to be an exciting game. We love playing in TBA when it's rocking like it was tonight. And, you know, they already know what they need to expect from us. We play hard. We go out and we give it our all, whether or not you see it on the rebounding, the box outs, the defense, you know, whatever it is. We got guys diving on the floor. Like, we love this and we want to win, and our fans want us to win. And, you know, it's a mutual agreement that winning is what we want to do here, and playing hard is what we got to do to make sure we win.
Olivier, there was a lot going on this week. You know, game days here in town, a lot of hype about the top 10 matchup, obviously sold out, crazy house. What does it say about this team's maturity that in that environment, this kind of atmosphere, that you come out and take care of business the way you did today?
Yeah, I think that we were able to start off really mature. We came off and we played a really good game, but I still think at the end we showed that we can be better, we can be more mature, we can make better decisions, and we can keep getting better. But yeah, we didn't get caught up in the hype, you know, the hype of, you know, like you said, college game day, the energy that we have because we lost the game last year. But like I said, we are mature, but we can still be a lot more mature. There's little nuances that we got to get better at, and just understanding the timing of the game and how to play. Like you guys have seen, we've been getting better all year, and we're going to keep getting better.
Back here, in the back here, it seemed like your patience in the post was better today. How much do you feel the game's slowing down in games like this where you're pouring in 26 points?
I don't know. That's really a tough question. You know, I try to play at a good pace every night. Some nights it goes better, some nights it doesn't. Some nights your shot's just falling from wherever you're shooting it from, and sometimes it's kind of rough so you got to get some layups in. But you know, I've really just been trying to focus on making the game easier for my teammates, you know, and in that, you know, I'm trying to get the ball at spots where I know they feel comfortable giving it to me. I'm trying to, you know, make my moves at spots where I know my teammates are not going to cut on top of me. Just, you know, trying to understand my teammates better, and it's helping me play with them better and playing the game better.
Olivier, this was a 17-17 game midway through the first half. Y'all go on that 9-0 run. The next thing you know, you're up 14. What changed in that period for you guys?
You know, we're the type of team where we don't stop. You know, we're going to keep coming at you. We're going to keep coming at you, and we're going to keep coming at you. It's going to start on defense. Then it's going to translate to rebounding. Then we're going to start shooting the ball on offense. And then it's 4 guys going to get the offensive rebounds. And then it's 5 new guys coming on the court and do the exact same thing. So I feel like one of the best things that we have is that we apply pressure, and we keep applying it. We keep going at guys, and we keep going at teams. And unless you can take that, and unless you can, you know, hit us back when we hit you, and then keep doing that for 40 minutes, we're going to win.
What does it feel like to just play in an environment like tonight?
It's amazing, man. I love playing in TBA when it's rocking. I love playing in other gyms when it's rocking, whether or not it's a home crowd or away crowd. I love when the fans are there and they're showing out. You know, I really appreciate our fans because they do it consistently, and I feel like they love doing it, and the energy that they brings us energy. But whenever anybody's fans show out, it's always an amazing feeling wherever you playing at. And as an athlete, you know, not even just as a basketball player, as an athlete, it's one of the best feelings in the world when you got all those people coming out there either to support you or to cheer against you. You know, I love it when they booing me. I love it when they cheering me. It's just an amazing feeling, the energy that's in the arena.
Everybody talks about the defense, and rightfully so, but how good can this offense be consistently? Was tonight a good example of what this offense can be?
Yeah, I feel like if we all keep getting better and keep going in the direction that we can really be one of the best offenses in the country as well as defensive, because our defense really leads to our offense. You know, Z and Santi are at the front of that, you know, getting those steals in the backcourt, and then it's we taking off, you know, getting rebounds and we taking off. So we play fast and physical, and I think we can keep getting better, and we will keep getting better. But, yeah, I think our offense has a lot of potential, and we just got to keep working at it.
Rick described this February as a month where separation happens in college basketball. How do you guys separate? How do you guys continue to get better like you're talking about?
We just got to come in every day with a mature attitude, you know, that we haven't arrived. We haven't won the national championship. We haven't won the SEC championship. We haven't won the regular season championship. We haven't won anything. Right now, we're just as good as anybody else. We're right where everybody else is at. We have proven nothing with this team. We have done nothing, so we just got to stay hungry. We got to keep going. We got to keep practicing hard. Got to keep practicing smart. We got to keep coming in, taking care of games that we're supposed to take care of, keep attacking every day like it's, you know, it's the most important day because that's the only day you got.
Back here. So obviously tonight it was another big stage for you all, another opportunity to kind of rise to the occasion. What confidence does tonight give you all to not only start the way you did, but to actually finish and get a good win at home?
Whenever you get to playing games like this that end up being kind of tight and the excitement is there, and you know you got a tough matchup, you know you grow in the game and you get better during the game. So I think it should give us a good amount of confidence, but it doesn't really change anything for us. We still got to attack every day the same way. We still got to prepare the same way, but, you know, it should show us that we're capable of playing anybody, which we've already done. But it should also show us that the only way we're going to keep doing what we're doing is if we come out every night and act like it's a game like tonight.
Talked about those kind of tough conversations you've had to have with Rick sometimes, and I imagine everybody who plays here has those at times. How tough can those be? And were there ever times maybe early in your career when you thought, like, I don't know if I can do this, like it's just the guy doesn't stop?
Well, you know, those conversations, like I said, like you said, they're tough. Like Coach said, they're tough, and as a player, they're tough. But if you want this, if you come to a school like Tennessee, you just got to be prepared. You know, it's not easy. It's not easy whether or not you want to go to the league, whether or not you want to go play pro overseas, or whether or not you just want to play college basketball. It's tough, man. And Coach keeps it real, and he's going to tell you exactly what you need to do to keep getting better, not to be good, not to stay the same, not to be okay, not to stay consistent, but to keep getting better. You might have the best week of your life and end up having one of those conversations with Coach because all he wants from you is for you to get better. And as a player, you know, you're either going to accept that and get better, or you're not. And, you know, if you're between a rock and a hard place and you fold, you're going to crack. It's over. But, you know, Coach cares for us, and that's why he's having those conversations, because he doesn't want you to crack. He doesn't want you to stop. He wants you to get better. He wants you to be here. He wants you to, you know, do anything and everything you can to keep growing. That's just how he operates.
Olivier, thank you very much.
Appreciate you.
Why are you always making that face? Yeah, you. Not at all.
Big offense outburst this season. It feels like y'all hit a lot of threes. Y'all just hit 6 today. To do what y'all did offensively, does that show what y'all's offense looks like at its best?
Definitely, and I feel like that wasn't even our best offense performance. We could do much better. We could play faster, and we can get the ball inside even more. And I give credit to Olivier. Once we got it to him, he went to work, and we need him to do that all the time. But I would say we could be even better offensively.
This win for Coach Barnes.
It meant a lot because last year it was a very emotional locker room after the game because we know the outcome. But this one was it was definitely a big one for him. Definitely, it meant a lot for us too.
Karthik, then Rob, then Greg. There's a moment there late in the first half where you turned over the ball, then you came back, hit an and one, three-pointer, came up with the steal. You were really emotional, and then 2 free throws after that. What did that moment mean to you to turn the ball over, make you pretty mad, and how motivated were you to get right back at it?
I always had the next play mentality. So in that case, I was just thinking, I knew it was a pretty bad turnover, but I was just thinking, hey, it's going to be a game of runs. It's going to be some ups and downs. So just keep playing and keep being myself and don't dwell on that one turnover. That's what I was really thinking.
Scott, we've seen you with double digits in assists. We saw you score 24 points a couple of weeks ago at Mississippi State. Tonight's the first night you kind of, had double digits assists and also, 20 plus. Are you figuring something out? Was it just a fluky game, or are you figuring out how to balance it?
Honestly, I would just say it was a good feel for the game because I didn't know that's what the box score said until after the game. Somebody had came up to me and said it. But I would just say it was a good feel for the game and knowing that just to take my open shots and to hit the open guy pretty much. But I would just say it was really just a feel for the game.
You guys seem to play with an edge, almost an attitude. Do you think that's specific to tonight or the last couple of weeks? Is that something that's just developed for this team?
I think it's been something that we've been trying to develop, and we've talked about it in the locker room, developing our character and developing who we want to be known around the country, like what type of team we are. And we always want to be the type of team that everybody says we're gonna play the hardest, we're gonna fight, no matter what the score is, no matter how much we're up, we're gonna give it our all. We're gonna play with a lot of emotion. So we're definitely just still building with our character as a team.
You gave Olivier his flowers earlier, but Rick talked about just how great you all felt for him to have this performance tonight. Can you just kind of speak to how you and the rest of your teammates feel about Olivier's performance tonight?
Well, he coming into the game, he had some really good practices, and we knew that Olivier was going to be that go-to guy early on because the type of practices that he had, he was just amazing. Whether he was getting the ball, whether it was defensively, he was just really active. And so coming into the game, he was that same exact player, and nothing changed. I would say nothing at all. And he was just great overall. And I just give all my flowers to him. He was really great out there.
Scott, you guys had College Game Day in town today. You did an interview during it on ESPN. Was it kind of difficult to manage the pressure throughout the day with all the extras, or was it just business as usual?
I would say it was just all business. It was no type of pressure at all because whether College Game Day was here, whether they were or weren't, it was going to be this type of fight no matter what. We knew going into the game how important it was, so I wouldn't say it was just all business. It was no type of pressure.
Coach
Barnes talked about how Olivier, they knew that you were going to go to Olivier because they were going to guard the guards tight today with the pick and roll. Talk about the relationship you have with Olivier in the pick and roll, and how was it so successful today?
Well, I have a great relationship with Olivier off the court. We always, no matter where we could be eating food and we'll just start talking about basketball. And like, hey, you can hit me on this, and just know on this I'm gonna start running to the basket harder, and just you can trust me. And just I feel like it all started off at that point off the court, and we just got closer and closer. And on the court, I always know that if I throw it up, he'll go get it, or even if I try to make a special pass, or if it's a bad pass, that he'll give the extra effort to go get it. So I know just off of the relationship off the court that he'll make that extra effort for me on.
You mentioned that desire to just always play hard and not stop no matter what. How much of that comes from Coach Barnes and just who he is with you guys?
I feel like a lot of it does, but I feel like a lot of it just comes from us and the type of relationships that we all have off the court. We are really truly a brotherhood off the court. We do pretty much everything together. If we're all hanging out with each other and one guy doesn't come and hang out with us, we get mad at them. We say, hey, yeah, you gotta just come hang out with us. So I feel like it always starts off the court and just the type of brotherhood we have just together.
Good Rodney talked about the physicality of this team, and they weren't really able to adjust to that. And then you look at Coach Barnes and the timeout late. He's still really taking those timeouts pretty seriously. What is it about this team that you guys really do thrive on that physicality, and you don't ever let off the gas?
Yeah, well, we're big on we're big on playing like grown men. That's what was going around the locker room a lot. That we just gotta be out there and be grown men. We can't let anybody out physical us, and that was one of the key points for us to win this game and to win many more games. That we gotta be just men out there and be ourselves, and don't let anybody run us off cuts, run through our chest, and anything like that.
Zakai, I know you've had a lot of moments defensively, but there was once tonight where I think you got matched up against a 6'8" or 6'9" guy in the post and just kind of ripped the ball away from him and got the ball out of bounds there. Is that, I mean, how much did you enjoy that one? Because I know that can't be the matchup that you want, really.
No, it's definitely a matchup I want. I wouldn't say that there's any matchup on the court that I wouldn't want to get into. I feel like no matter who it is that I could guard them, that's how I look at things.
Or Texas scored more points than you all were allowing this season, but you also held Texas below its season average. How do you think Coach Barnes is going to take that and watching the film? Is that are y'all okay with that, or how would that be perceived, I guess?
Yeah, well, we're definitely not okay with that. We know that we're not perfect. We still have, people say we're a pretty good defensive team, but we know that we have many points that we have to get better at. And tonight, even though we won and we did really good, we had some really good plays, we know that we had some really bad plays, and we need to fix those. So that's all I can say about that.
What was your reaction? We heard Olivier had a really sick dunk yesterday in practice. What was your reaction when it went down?
Man, I lost my mind. I remember seeing it. I was on the court, and he drove, he got at his feet, and all I could just say is I'm scared for anybody that's under that rim when he got at his feet. That's all I can say.
All right, Zakai, thank you very much.
No, thank you, Tom. Thank you.